Camera's rolling. And we are live. All right. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, rolling. So who are you?
Who am I? My name is James Earl Jackson III. That was a name given to me. My nickname, or it's really like my real name, but unofficially, is Trey Jackson. Know why? I am 30 years old, 30 Earth years, or 30 years young, 30 levels. I live in Atlanta, Georgia of Atlanta. That second one didn't make sense, but Atlanta. ATL.
All right. So, as much as you can recall, what childhood experience has stayed with you and impacted you the most through your adulthood?
What childhood experience has stayed with me and impacted me the most in my adulthood? Wow. First thing that comes up is, how could I possibly know? But you know, I'm gonna stay true to. I think a great way to answer when you don't know is just talk about what comes up. So what came up for me first was one more time. What childhood experience impacts me the most into my adulthood? Right?
Yes.
Yeah. So interesting. You know, I would say discovering like my creativity for the first time when it came to video production. I was living with my grandma, and she had a old, not super old, it's like 2006 Kodak digital camera. Digital cameras are not popular, you know, with an SD card, and she got me a Mac computer, and this is all before Macs were popular. Macs are everyone's got Macs, every art school and everyone, it's Mac. It's mainstream. This is before that time, and so I didn't know nothing about a Mac, but I got one, and I just had the camera and I had the computer, and just naturally stumbled upon the program. I had this SD card, put it in, and like truly just self-taught how to edit videos, start shooting little just shooting my family doing stuff around the house and giving them attributes or like characters. Like my dad was, who was he? The Beast. My uncle was the Monster. My grandma was Old Yeller. No, my auntie was Old Yeller. So everyone had like a thing, and I would always capture them doing the same things, and I would make like a funny story, change the pitch of their voices, or repeat the same thing like, won't you stop? Won't you stop? Won't you? I would do that kind of stuff. It was just so funny to me. So that was like discovering. I think that came up because I discovered that, oh, I really like this. I didn't have it in my mind the way I thought. I didn't have this, in 20 years, I'm going to produce a film and it's going to be on Hollywood. Like it wasn't, I didn't really have that kind of clarity at all. I still don't I have some clarity now, but at the time it was just, that's what I just liked. It was just fun. It was just, you know, this simple childhood fun. I mean, I was 14, maybe, you know, going to be 15. So it wasn't like I was a child, But that's what comes up because it's still, for me, it felt like childhood. I was living with my grandma. Even though I have two brothers, when they moved to Atlanta, my mom, it was the first year I ever lived with just my grandma and me. And yeah, I just got to shoot and edit freely. And that led me, that seed, that time led me to years later when I took actual class in high school. Was that the next year? That was from ninth grade. Yeah, ninth grade. I picked it up in 11th grade. But I did recall when I was making these little movies, little film videos, I did have this idea of like, I remember thinking, if all my family came in the room on my computer, that was my monitor. If they all came in here and they got to watch what I made, it was like the best experience. It was like the best idea ever. It was like, if they could all come and I didn't have the language, I don't really understand, but I was like, basically I was like, if I could have a screening of what I recorded, it would be the best thing. And they could see it and I could be like, look, this is what I did, so, yeah, I think that was an impactful time, definitely, for me.
That sounds like it. All right. So now I need you to pick a random number between 1 and 100.
A random number between 1 and 187. Boom.
All right. So the question is, what do you think happens after death, if anything?
Oof. What do I think happens after death? Absolutely something happens. I have personally no doubt about that. What is, I would say there's some impact or result of what you did in this life, what you fulfilled or accomplished, or how you lived that will kind of like when you had rollover minutes back in the day, when you had phone, on some level, it will play into a future lifetime that you come back and live, whether you want to like repeat something to maybe try again, or take you amongst another realm of consciousness of different beings that have totally different senses and ways of living. From my understanding, we're amongst the lower, like low level, evolution. We are like, we're not like primal, but there was this video I watched talk about the scale of planets, like, and we were like, maybe like 0.7 or something, or maybe we just got to 1 point something, but level 3 was like worlds ahead of us. There's so many things that we do that are just immature. We're just so immature. I every single week, or at least every couple weeks, I hear about somebody killing a person over their mayonnaise at Subway or something, or they crossed them over in the basketball game and made a face, and they killed them. They followed them home, and I think it's just so immature. I think it's just so immature, and so I think a lot of us have a lot to learn here on this level of existence, and there's so much. There's way more we don't know than we do. That's something I can say. We know way more about what. There's a lot of unknown. But yeah, I think in conclusion, we our spirit that is the truest part of us goes to it transitions. And we're no longer like, yeah, just our spirit, that life essence of who we are goes back to some collective energy, or it's beyond my pay grade, but it's something happens. Multitude of things, you know. I definitely don't see it as, all right, you're gonna torment for eternity because you didn't do this. No, I think there's infinite grace. It's tough to say. So many theories. But yeah, we go somewhere. That's all. We go somewhere, and what we do doesn't matter to that degree.
All right. I like it. All right. So your final question, and big reason why we're. Say that again.
That's my final question.
All right. So this is your final question. I'm about to ask it. Okay. It's if the words that you speak today become your legacy to humanity, what would you want to say to them?
If the words I speak today are my legacy to humanity, what would I want to say? Essentially, it would be my final words would be heard by and remembered by humanity. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Such what a question. What a question. There's a few things that come to mind. Give me one moment. You know, I would say I hope I ask that that people take more worthwhile moments. Take more moments. What I mean is everyone can experience living and being in some motion flow state, or we're all trying to get somewhere, get something, be something, not be something else, figure it out, appear this way to, or look at what could be better. None of it is wrong. I would say that I just would ask that want people to remember the sacredness of taking a moment, because it is so easy in how we live life today. What humanity has come to is there is a true lack of, I don't like to use the word conscious, but like this conscious awareness in space, in stillness, in presence. And that comes from people just not taking these moments when they're in the middle of situations. They're like, you're living life and you're just doing what you're just doing. And at the end of the day, when you lay down, there's really, I think there's a true lack of taking a moment to like appreciate and just see what's happened, even on like a simplistic level. I definitely think taking more moments. I guess you could call them reflection moments. You could call them gratitude moments. You could call them being present to life as it is. You can call them a number of things, but it's stopping and just kind of doing what we're like able to do here. We're not animals. That's the thing. That's what I'm telling humanity, because we're not animals. We're not just like food, shelter, noise. Like, we can have this observing ability. And so I would want people to, I would really, I would ask, I would urge, hope, I would tell, and want to be remembered for taking moments to remember your day more, and your family, and yeah, it's so I know it's so attractive. It's hard when you want something so bad, but and that's the thing. There's like a realization that the thing that you want so bad, it's like there's gonna be something else that you want so bad, and then there's your whole life, and you never took a moment to like be glad you didn't have that thing. I think about this idea of consistency, and like thought about it in this. I think it's a deeper way, but it's consistency is it's like important in existence, because part of being here, the only reason we can have an idea that we live this kind of life is because life is consistent long enough for us to like be able to have moments, versus imagine all the way life could be. It could be so much disorder and chaos where we couldn't even experience being a person, having something, not having something, losing something, gaining something. But we have the gift of consistently being able to like be in the moment. And so that's why I'm connecting it to moments, is because life really it truly could be, if you understand consciousness, it could be just lights, darkness, earthquake. Like, it could be so many things, but we just have this moment to just be still and just observe things. Even though everything's moving, we can like be a part of this illusion, like we're somewhere. And I think that's what I want to emphasize. Like, appreciate being somewhere. You're like right now, appreciate not having this dream, because if you never not had it, you wouldn't even care, So it's about appreciating your moments. That's really what I strive to do. One of my last lines of my declaration is, what is it? Essentially, the last line, it says, "This is the finish line." And then I say, the next line is like, which means I'm today living some version of a dream. I'm living some version of a dream I once had. And every time I read it, even though I live every day, I'm like, oh snap, I am. And it's always going to be true. I'm always at this finish line moment, because at one point, moving out of my mom's house was everything. Driving was everything. Being adult was everything. Having 2 cameras was everything. I keep experiencing the dreams and everything. And I elude myself all the time because I don't have this 0.1% level of, and I live like I'm in lack instead of like I'm in a moment that I have everything that I have. So long little nugget, but that's what I would say. Take more moments, whether that's meditating more or just staring or writing. It's that ability to look around and be like, you know, I think if there was like a universal, when the clock struck an hour every day, everywhere around the world, depending on your accountability, right? If you're driving or whatever, it's like, oh, it's an hour. Everyone and the universe has to take a moment. In that moment, people would realize things they didn't realize, and they would become more aware, and they would be able to see their actions. They'd be able to see the gifts they had. They'd be able to, just appreciate who they are and everything that's around them. I think that would be really cool for people to take more moments. And it'd be really hard for some people because they've trained themselves, consciously or not to take any moments. It's always something for them. I am complete with that.
And cut.